How many duck-sized horses do you think that Stan would beat down to get Usman to look at her like that? We all know people that peaked in high school. However, Kim the fan peaked in episode 12 of Happily Ever After when Usman's mother gave her permission to become his first wife. Honorable mention, since our last video we posted on Angela and Michael's relationship, she disabled her comments on Instagram. What a coward!
I'm going through Michael's phone and I find a woman in his contacts. Michael says it's his friend. If it is, he's in trouble. If it ain't, he's in trouble because the girl shouldn't be in his damn phone anyway. I don't know her.
You believe this man here did me like that? I cheated on him and I used the money that we made together on the show for cosmetic surgery just for myself. Last time we spoke about Usman, aka Incest Boy, he was giving his cousin the sex size, singing in his head, "Sweet home Nigeria, where your cousins pop you to. Sweet home Nigeria, get your young ovaries away from Usman, aka Soldier Boy. Sweet home Nigeria."
Yeah, I want to get to know each other before we get married, girl. I want to eat that.
Yo, did we just make a song off the top of our head that's better than any music that this guy's ever produced? Maybe. Fun fact about his potential second wife that happens to be his cousin is that she's 18, and many fans feel like that is too young for her to enter this three-way relationship between him and Kim. And I agree to a point because it is a sticky situation entering a three-way relationship with Kim and Usman, because Kim just binge watched The Handmaid's Tales and she assumes that being the first wife gives her authority over the other sister wives.
I'm the first wife, right? You know, like I get all the love. I get all the good stuff.
I actually can't wait until Kim meets up with the cousin in real life, and she's probably gonna say something loaded to her like, "Get your young ovaries away from Usman, aka Soldier Boy. I'm the first wife." Look-wise, his paternal cousin is obviously out of his league, and I'm a big fan of her demeanor. She's very calm, cool, collected. She's actually the complete opposite of Kim because Kim's kind of a spastic.
A matsayina na mace, gaskiya burina ne in yi aure, in haifi yara.
Yo sis, blink twice if you're okay. Are you reading off a script right now? I know that Usman's mother and her mother were very insistent that they make this marriage work, but doesn't it just seem like this girl did flashcards with her mother on what the correct responses would be? As a woman, it's my deepest desire to have children and be married one day.
Women there, they're like brought up to do this. You know what I mean?
You actually don't have to try that hard. Just smile and wave and people are already gonna like you more than Kim.
Ya kamata a ce da ni da ke mun building relationship. Zaki iya ganin a ce irin okay.
Ba wai daga magana za mu yi aure ba, dole sai ka fahimce ni na fahimce ka.
Yawwa, abin da nake magana shi.
Throughout this entire conversation with his cousin, Usman is big gushing, and it's very apparent that his demeanor is different than when he's speaking with Kim. When Usman's talking with Kim, he says things like, "I have young, rich, hot women in my DMs that are better than you, and I put in more work in this relationship than you do." Yet when his cousin enters his field of vision, he changes up the tune to, "Yeah, I want to get to know each other before we get married, girl. I want to eat that butt." Okay. Before we continue reviewing this trash TV show, I'd like to tell you about today's video sponsor, Established Titles. Established Titles is based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners were referred to as lords and ladies. They allow you to buy 1 square foot of land in Scotland to refer to yourself as a lord or lady. And in return, they commit to planting a tree for every order. Established Titles works with global charities such as One Tree Planet and Trees for Future to support global restoration efforts. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global restoration efforts. Established Titles is currently doing a Black Friday sale, 80% off plus a free gift, so be sure to claim that offer. Jamie Fraser's a lord, so why shouldn't you be? This is a really good last minute gift to give somebody, and holidays are coming up. Hands down bar none, the coolest part about getting this certificate is that you can officially change your name to Lord or Lady. And yes, this also means you can get the title Lord on your airplane tickets and credit cards. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link in the bio of this video will effectively be next to my plot of land, within walking distance of your wet Dougal Mackenzie over here. Super duper pumped to be neighbors, my fellow lords and ladies. Royalty recognizes royalty, am I right? If y'all want to get started with Established Titles, go to establishedtitles.com/yourwetsock and use code yourwetsock for 10% off of all items. In the last episode of the show, Kim proposed to Usman so that she could try and persuade him to not meet up with his cousin, but he still went to meet up with her anyway. Kim said that it was from the goodness of her heart, like she says with everything she does. And to make matters messier, when Usman met up with his cousin, he didn't wear his engagement ring that Kim got him. Must have forgot. Whoops. Even though Usman didn't bring his engagement ring, he still tries to convince the audience that he is in love with Kim, and he even explains their relationship to this girl.
Na ce yanzu misali akwai wata wacce nake tare da ita wadda mun daɗe tare da kin sanya ba wai na ce a'a bane akan ki. Ita din ba za ta haihu ba saboda shekarun ta sun ja. Ba zai yiwu ba sai in har ta tabbatar da cewa akwai mai ƙananan shekaru
This dude constantly talks about what his mother wants for his life and makes it seem like he respects her, but he already walked down the aisle with baby girl Lisa, and his mother didn't approve of her either. No one loves Usman as much as Usman does. He uses his mother as a scapegoat, especially in his relationship with Kim, and every course of action he takes is to put himself in a more favorable position. If Usman's entire career wasn't dependent on being on the show 90 Day Fiancé, he would have already married this cousin. However, he's already invested about 2 years into manipulating Kim. He might as well get a green card out of it.
Idan aka ce yanzu mu fara yin aure da ita kafin mai da ke, za ki amince da haka?
A'a gaskiya.
All right. Kim can learn a thing or 12 from Usman's cousin. Self-respect is a good look.
Amma daga haɗuwa yau, ki ce sai mun yi aure.
To, amma ai mominta ta ce ba ta so ka fara auren wancan ɗin. Ya kake gani?
Oh shit, she played the mom card against Usman. Dude's been using his mother's approval to get Kim dancing to his tune this entire season, so I'm so happy that this girl threw that back on him. Usman's calculated, he's playing the long game, and he's stressed out right now because both women want to be the first wife. I have a solution for him, and we might as well help him out because he's this close to getting to America anyway. He should just tell Kim that actually we do things differently here in Nigeria. The second wife has the authority over the other sister wife, so I think that it would be better for you to be the second wife so that you can order everybody around and then Kim will go for it.
Like, I've read the Islamic law.
Who are you? Like, what?
Stan's reading comprehension is so trash that he would probably get away with that.
Za mu san ta yadda za mu bullo abu.
I'm just happy we finally got to see how this dude interacts with a woman that's under 50 years old, and he was very timid throughout the entire conversation. Like, you could tell he really glorified this girl based on her looks. Usman's conversation with this cousin that he's trying to pipe ends with him basically getting her number and saying that they're gonna figure things out. So I'm assuming that he's waiting until Kim leaves back to America, and then he's gonna slide and spend more time with his cousin getting to know her.
I'm just sitting in that hotel room, and then the reality hit me like, this just went to go meet this woman. It's been like 3 or 4 hours, 3 hours, I guess.
How weird is this girl? Why are you there? Why are you in the hotel room? You're in Nigeria. Go to Zuma Rock or do any kind of activity. Kim just being alone in her hotel room for 3 hours staring at the wall isn't gonna help the situation. You might as well get your mind off of it. Usman gets back to the hotel and Kim's just dying to find out how the conversation went with her new potential sister wife.
Me and the lady, we speak, like we spoke a lot, so she's not ugly. She's not like, she's fine. She's okay, but
She's not ugly, she's fine. Way to downplay how the family reunion went. When you saw how good looking your cousin was, your eyes were just about popping out of your head like Jim Carrey in that movie The Mask. Kim then says to Usman,
Okay, but your mom knows that I know that you went to meet up with this other woman, so is that gonna help?
Usman's done a really good job invading Stan's brain and convincing her that the most important mission on their mind is to get the mom's approval, and they have to go along with whatever the mother wishes.
I just proposed to you last night. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is so soon, you know?
But wait, Kim, you're not mentioning the recent proposal to Usman to try and hold that over his head, right? Because I thought that you did that out of the goodness of your heart.
Like, I don't even feel like we've had time to even enjoy the fact that I proposed to you.
Besides, if we want to be technical about it, you already agreed to allowing him to take multiple wives before you touch down in Nigeria. And while we're on the subject, quick question for you guys, let me know in the comments, but isn't polygamy illegal in the United States? So wouldn't that mean that if Usman mentioned that he's going to take multiple wives, his green card would get revoked? I'm just struggling to see where their storyline is really going.
And you're not even wearing your ring. That's lovely. That you said you wouldn't take off, and now you're not even wearing it.
in my region, we don't use ring. So
in my region, we don't wear a ring. Oh, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the culture card that gets played by every foreign dude every season of the show.
It reminds me of another foreigner that recently we reviewed from Egypt, Mohammed.
Forget about culture, Usman. You promised Kim that you would wear your engagement ring when you met up with her potential sister wife. Hate to break it to you, my God, but it has nothing to do with culture and everything to do with honoring your word as a man.
I wear the ring because it will make Kimbali happy, but Farida, because she's in the modern world, she may likely understand what the ring is in my hand. So in order to avoid any drama, I decided to remove the ring.
Okay, bro, so you lied and you're afraid of confrontation. Use it as a lesson. Learn from it. Don't make a promise you don't intend to keep.
You proposed to me. I say yes. The following day, I follow my mom to answer because I can't say no to her.
This just shows narcissists are not accountable. Notice how he says, you proposed to me, like,
Bruh, I did ask.
then he uses his mommy as a shield for the 100th time on some niche immature behavior, communicating for the 1,000th time that if his mother doesn't approve of her, then he has to dump her. Even though we've seen him on the show with baby Elisa, who his mother also didn't approve of. It just seems like he constantly goes back to, how do I put this girl in a negative headspace where she feels desperate? Kim's really choosing her struggle though, because she's so blinded about obtaining his family's approval and validation that she's not taking a good look at who she's gearing up to marry. You ever hear that old saying, our word is our bond? And what is marriage other than a promise to friends, family, loved ones to cherish this person for the rest of your life? And if someone can't keep their promises, why would you want to walk down the aisle with them?
I'm trying to play safe for everyone.
I know this is a hard position for you to be in. I am very well aware of that. And I didn't mean to upset you.
Riddle me this. In what way, shape, or form is this a hard position to be in for Usman, Kim? He's had the most to gain from this one-sided relationship with you. He's already up a MacBook Pro and a PS5. Dude's made just about zero sacrifices for this relationship and put you in positions to make you look foolish on national TV for the past 2 years. It's annoying for just about every viewer to watch Kim not hold Usman accountable for his words and actions. It's very similar to watching Nancy give Barstool a pass on season 3 of Love is Blind. When Barnacle brought up their very private conversation about abortion in front of his family when he already knew their stance on the matter, it was obviously to make Nancy look bad, and she shielded him from friends and family, especially on their wedding day when he said no to her at the altar and embarrassed her. It was very obvious that this dude wasn't attracted to Nancy and just used the show as a social media come up. Very similarly to Kim, Nancy tried to shield her dude from criticism from friends and family and the people that really had her best interests at heart, and it caused her to look foolish at the end of their story. Moving forward in the game of life, both Nancy and Kim really need to work on listening to the good advice they have from friends and family, because that in itself is a luxury that a lot of people take for granted. When you're surrounded by people that love you enough to be brutally honest with you, even if it hurts your feelings, that's a blessing. And speaking on that, how annoying is it that in the last episode, Jamal gave his mother such good advice and good bullet points to bring up with Usman, but she didn't have those conversations because they were uncomfortable. When you have a built-in brain that you delivered out of your body that is giving you fire advice, why do you not listen to his advice? And you know what's most annoying thing? When people ask for advice and then they don't fucking listen to it. Usman goes on to tell Kim, now let me tell you how important you are to me and how I place you as my number one. Guys, Kim acts like that's the most romantic thing she's ever heard in her entire life. She walks over, sits in his lap, and apologizes. I can't make it up. She actually took the initiative to apologize to him after he hit her with the line that would offend just about any other girl, because every other girl that heard, you're my number one, would be like, bitch, there's no number 2 or 3. There's me and only me. I'm the only woman in your life. Later in the same episode, Kim gets the approval from Usman's mother to become his first wife, and she acts like she just hit the Mega Millions jackpot.
This is the blessing. This is huge, huge.
To make matters funnier, the mother and brother actually bring a contract out for Kim to sign, and the contract reads that Kim has to allow Usman to travel back to Nigeria once every 3 months, and she also has to promise to allow him to take a second wife that is younger so he can have children. In episode 13 of Happily Ever After, Stan is still riding that positivity wave from Sussman's mother giving her the stamp of approval to become the first wife. Well, that is as long as she holds up her end of the bargain, because remember, she was presented a contract from the family which she already signed with some promises that we're not sure she can keep.
Earlier today, I finally got Usman's mom's blessing. I feel like she finally sees me for who I am. It makes me tear up a little bit.
Sussman put his cousin on hold so that he could secure this green card in this bag with Kimberly, which isn't a dumb move because keeping it in the family isn't always the best look. Kim's last day in Nigeria, and Usman invites her over to his house so that she can spend her last day with him, decorating his place with trophies and pictures of himself.
Today I brought Kimberly to my house because I want her to decorate with the awards I have.
How crazy is it that it's this girl's last day in Nigeria and they should be doing some kind of activity, maybe something that tourists would do in Nigeria, but Usman instead wants her to spend her last day prioritizing him, his needs, helping him decorate his place.
I want her to leave some touch in my house, something that I will look at and say, okay, this is what Kimberly did. I love it. I'm happy.
The only thing that this dude does for Kimberly is
Dick her down.
and I feel like that's enough for her because she puts such an emphasis on having sex with this man and being like, let's go get the yammy. I'm here for the yammy, Usman.
So we should go do yummy in that bed so you'll remember it when I leave. Come on.
I thought Usman was just about to bring out his Little League soccer trophies. I find it so tacky to put trophies and awards on the wall.
I think it's really cute that Usman wants me to come over here and help decorate his house. It's like putting my little wifey, womanly touch on his house. Makes me feel special. He calls it our house now.
Nah, it's his house. You might want to get that in writing, Kim. We've already seen how y'all fight, and whenever there's a problem in your relationship, Usman tells you to get on a plane and go back to America. What do you think's gonna happen when y'all live together, if that eventually happens?
Here. What?
Give me big. You don't play with this kind of thing.
Big yikes, I don't like that. The whole I'm gonna pretend to bash you over the head with a hammer joke. Maybe I'm just on edge though, because I watched that Jeffrey Dahmer show on Netflix. It was really well made, but also really disturbing. Sussman and Stan are hanging his awards on the wall. He sends her in his bedroom to look for tape. When she comes back out with the tape, he's down on one knee and she's like, oh my God, Usman, you did it.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Not the best setting for a proposal, right? In his living room? Luckily for him, Kim's like a skaven rat that just wants the breadcrumbs. So in her mind, this is the most romantic proposal ever. Usman's proposal speech went like this. After all we've been through, Tanzania, Nigeria, now we're in Nigeria, we've been battling, struggling. My mom said yes, so if I truly love you, why wait? This dude has been making this girl jump through every hoop to be with him, and every time he does the bare minimum, she just chooses to ignore the red flags. Dang, Usman, I see you. I was actually expecting this dude to get her a ring pop, but he got her a fake diamond ring instead. That's better than a ring pop. Side note, does this girl own any other outfits that aren't this guy's merch? She really likes to ride that line of obsessed fan and fan that do be obsessed. These lovers fly back to Abuja, and when they get off the plane, we see the fakest Louis bags we've ever seen in the history of the show. Y'all know it's bad when it looks like you got orange slices on your suitcase. As they're walking together, Kim says to Usman, I can kiss you now, right? Because she's thinking that she can kiss her man in public since they're engaged now. Usman responds, not really, because this dude's obviously embarrassed about kissing this old lady in public. But if it was his cousin, on the other hand, sheesh, his tongue will be down her throat. Reminds me of Azan and Nicole when she was so insistent about kissing him in public and he was like, hard pass. Later in the episode, Kim and Usman call an immigration attorney to discuss the contract that Usman presented to Kim and she already signed. First question that Usman asks the immigration attorney is that, is it all right when I'm living in America with Kim to go back to Nigeria to see my family every 3 to 4 months? And the immigration attorney responds, no.
That's not going to be possible, because what's going to happen is you guys have to get married within 90 days. And then after the 90 days, then you would file your application for your green card. When you're not going to be able to travel.
The attorney goes on to remind Usman that the rules are in place so that it can show the United States that you want to be with your wife. The attorney then asks Kim what the other terms are that the mother presented to her in the contract, so Kim reads the terms out loud for her.
Number 3, Kimberly must allow Usman to marry a young lady in the future to enable to have children. And then we have witnesses, look.
Oh my God, you have witnesses? That's great. Too bad that polygamy is illegal in the United States. Something that Usman is shocked to hear when the immigration attorney tells him that. Kim acts dumbfounded, but I'm pretty sure she was aware before this meeting. There's no way you're gearing up to walk down the aisle with a dude that wants to take multiple wives and you wouldn't Google search that. Honestly, I think we gotta tip our hat to them because we all didn't think that they would make it this far. Kim's out here trying to normalize polygamy even though she doesn't want to be a sister wife. I also find it comical that Kim's trying to pretend like she's upset to hear this news when inside she is overjoyed that she's going to be the only wife in this guy's life. After receiving disappointing news from the immigration attorney, later that night, Kim and Usman drive to the airport because Kim unfortunately has to leave back to the States.
And the yummy was my favorite part too.
Okay.
Trust me, Kim, we know that the yammy was your favorite part. His favorite part is when you leave and he goes to pipe his cousin. These family reunions just get weirder and weirder, don't they?
I love you. Oh, we're at the airport.
He doesn't say it back. Usman's a funny character because he still has to show Kim that he cares about her. So he starts pressing up against his eyes and rubbing them so they get red, but there's no tears. It's very obvious that this man was not crying.
Like, I wish I could just take him with me or just stay longer or something.
Kim's crying hysterically as she hobbles away. Usman, aka Soulja Boy, I'm gonna miss you. Meanwhile, Usman's like, at the family reunion, who we introducing? Faradi, where you at? We see a preview of the next episode, and in that episode, Usman drops a bombshell on Kim, and that bombshell is he wants her to adopt a child and raise it. Let me know what y'all think about Sussman and Stan in the comments below. Super thankful for you watching my video. Comment below, subscribe, love you, follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.